He has an athletic body with some muscle tone. Is that brilliant, reasonable, or terrible? That's what we're going to find out in this video. I have stolen 10 deal breakers from clients without telling them, and we are going to analyze them to see if they have put great deal breakers, as in terrific. If they're reasonable deal breakers, they're okay, or maybe their deal breakers are bloody terrible. Now, to make it a little more fun, I thought we'd use some Aussie slang to do the video today. It's been a while since I embraced my Aussie side on the channel. So instead of terrific or brilliant, we're going to go with fair dinkum ripper. Fair dinkum ripper. Reasonable? It's all right, mate. And terrible can be bloody awful. Those are going to be our standards. Let's rock and roll. Amanda says, my deal breaker must have is that he has an athletic body with some muscle tone. Okay, interesting. How many people are there with athletic bodies and some muscle tone? It's probably not a high percentage of the population, so it could rule out a lot of people. Is it aligned with a healthy relationship? Potentially. I think the biggest thing you need to look at with this one is it hypocritical? You need to make sure that if you're looking for someone, Amanda, with an athletic body tone and some muscle, you better be athletic with some muscle as well. So assuming that you are, Amanda, I think this one goes somewhere between it's all right, mate, and fair dinkum ripper. But if you're hypocritical here, Amanda, then bloody awful. So it depends on you. Make sure you're not hypocritical with your deal breaker. Number 2, Anne-Marie says, he must be reciprocating in the bedroom. He must be reciprocating in the bedroom. Is that fair dinkum ripper? Is that all right, mate? Bloody awful. I think that's a fair dinkum ripper. I can't see any reason that is not very important in a relationship. So nice work, Anne-Marie. Number 3 is from Becky. Becky says, he is masculine, able to lead and make decisions with the ability to compromise. Remember, these are all taken from clients' own words, from clients' files, without telling them, to be analyzed here. Masculine, able to lead and make decisions with the ability to compromise. I think this is a really good one. Oh, it's somewhere between sort of the middle and the highest again. The only thing I would say is you need to make sure you have the trait, but in this case, because it's a masculine feminine polarity trait, you need to make sure you're the opposite of that trait. So if Becky is going to say, I want a man who's able to lead and make decisions, then she also needs to essentially say, I am able to follow and trust his decisions, at least some of the time. Because a man's not able to lead and make decisions if you're not able to follow and trust decisions. So I think this one is, it's all right, mate. I think it could be a ripper if applied well, but you have to be careful not to be hypocritical with this. What do we got? We got one ripper and 2 all rights. Number 4 is from Elena. Elena says he wants kids in the next 2 to 3 years. Wants kids in the next 2 to 3 years, no exceptions. Oh, sorry, no more than 2 kids as well. Yeah, this is a bloody ripper. No, well, we're saying fair dinkum ripper. This is great because this is a very clear, this is a compatibility deal breaker. So this is a life fit deal breaker. When does he want kids? How many kids does he want? Yeah, these are the ones you want to be very, very clear on. And you can also be clear that you can be flexible on them. Like you might not care where you live, for example, but be clear even if the clarity leads to, well, I don't have a strong opinion on that one. That one's a fair dinkum ripper, Elena. Number 5 is from Francesca. Francesca says, he has to have a good circle of close friends that are good influences. That is a fair dinkum ripper. I like that one. That might be one of the best so far. That's a ripper, Francesca. Not much to say on that. I guess you could also say, make sure you have the same be true for you. A couple of good friends. I think if you have no friends that are good influences, that's hypocritical. Other than that, Francesca nailed it. Oh, interesting one from Caitlin. Caitlin says, free access to each other's phones when we're committed. She does make that clear. Free access to each other's phones when we are committed. I like it. I think what she's communicating there is a open, sort of trusting relationship where we can have our phones out on the table. We're not worried if one person picks up the other person's phone, but we're not going through them either through lack of trust. So yeah, I'm going to go with fair dinkum ripper with the caveat that you need to make sure it's not overdone. And there is still a time and a place for having a life outside of each other, and that's okay. So it shouldn't be an excuse to troll your partner's phone all the time. But I think the concept is a fair income ripper. Let's see. Who have we got next? Is Laura. Has at least 2 hobbies that take him outside. I don't know about this one, Laura. Laura has at least 2 hobbies that take him outside. Is that necessary for a long-term healthy relationship? No, Laura, I think that's bloody awful. Bloody awful. Okay, that wording's a little extreme. This can be a preference. This can be a strong preference, but making it a deal breaker, bloody awful. Here we go. Kerry says over 6'1". Oh, over 6'1". Look, you're out there, you're going, Mark, height is important. I can't be with a guy I'm not attracted to. I can't be with a guy I don't feel safe with. I have a personal bias against this one, not because I'm under 6 foot, 5'10 3/4. That's not why. Promise. I have a personal bias against this one because I just think it gets overused and way too much weight gets put on it. You know, I'm on the apps with the ladies every single day, and height is one of those superficial characteristics that our overwhelmed minds grab for to try to filter men. And I think it's a very, very weak way to do that. Look, I get it. By the way, Caitlin's thing here is over 6'1", taller than me in heels. So I guess she's 5'7". Look, I get it because, okay, I want to be with someone I'm attracted to, and I don't feel attracted to men under a certain height. I want to be with someone I feel safe with, and I don't feel safe with men under a certain height. I get it. But I think unless you are tall, you know, over 6 foot yourself, you got to be a little more flexible on this. I would argue it's often more of a status thing. It's often more of your brain thinks that's what it wants thing, but actually when you meet a really great guy who's 5'10.5", you might actually really like him. As I say, if you're 6 foot, you don't want to date someone who's 5'9", especially because you're 6'3" when you're in heels. So that, totally get that, 100%. But if there's if we introduce you to a 5'10" black belt, you can't tell me you don't feel safe with him. And if you do, I'll say, well, that's a you thing. That's something you got to check on the inside. So the height thing, look, I get it. It's definitely it has its purposes, but maybe the solution here is 5'10". I'm so biased, aren't I? 5'10" needs to be the new 6 foot. Unless you are over 5'11" yourself as a woman, 5'10" is the new 6 foot, or maybe 5'9" is the new 6 foot. Because then we get like 30-40% of the population back, and the deal breaker is much less harsh. We're not hacking off such a large percentage of the population. The whole 6 foot thing, most of the time in my experience, it's our brains being lazy. We're trying to deal with the overwhelm online. We've got way too many matches. We're trying to get through way too many people. We're using all the apps in a horrible, horrible manner. And the height thing is like, this saved us. But it doesn't actually save us because the people we attract are not any good anyway. So that's my take on that. Love me or hate me, that's my take. So overall, that one, I'm going to say it's all right, mate. But it's definitely closer to bloody awful than it is fair income brilliant. What is it? Fair income ripper. Fair income ripper. Number 9, positive outlook from Mindy. Positive outlook. I'm calling this all right, mate. It's very attractive when we meet someone with a positive outlook. I do think this deal breaker is a little bit generalized. It's a little bit hard to read when you're first meeting someone. As I say, it's vague. It's not super specific, but I get the concept. We all want someone with a positive outlook. My only caveat here would be maybe look at grateful or appreciative instead of positive, because often positive people, they often come back to negative in other areas of their life. So they're just balancing it out. They're a little more positive in dating, but they're a little more negative at work. So once you get to know them, you realize, oh, they're not that positive. They're just positive in a certain area. Whereas gratitude doesn't need to be balanced out. Appreciation doesn't really need a sense of balance. It's kind of just there. It's just a way of being. So I'd probably focus a little more on appreciative outlook, positive outlook, great look outlook. But I also get that a positive outlook is very attractive. So I see where Mindy's going here. So I'm going to say, all right, mate. I'd just like to see a little more specific and maybe a little more targeted to be a fair income ripper. And finally, wants to take me dancing and enjoys it. No, who wrote this? Kayla. Actually, I remember talking to Kayla about this. Kayla, you're probably watching. You know I love you. You're one of my favorite clients. This is bloody awful. What do we say? It's not bloody awful. It's, oh God, I forgot my Aussie lingo. I've been in America too long. Bloody atrocious. What was it? Bloody, no, it was bloody awful. I think it was bloody awful. This one's bloody awful, Kayla. If you want to make it a preference, you go for your life. Strong preference, go for your life. How many men enjoy dancing? It's a pretty small percentage. Now, if that's the one thing you're looking for, okay, you can make that your one harsh deal breaker, and then you don't really get any other harsh ones. You're just going to have to filter for relationship skills after that. But assuming you have other things you're looking for, maybe you could be more open to someone who wants to take you dancing, doesn't necessarily love it for himself, or someone who supports your dancing but doesn't necessarily do it, encourages you to dance but doesn't go there with you. That would probably widen the net so that you can be narrower in other areas. Oh, there's a bonus one at the end here. The bonus one was from Nicole. He treats me with respect under all conditions in all situations. Boom. Almost dropped my laptop then. That is a fair dinkum ripper. That is a fair dinkum. I don't have anything to say to that. That is just, all the research says that if you can get that, treats you with respect in all situations, and obviously you do the same for him, under all circumstances, in all situations, fair dinkum ripper. You find a guy that does that, that's amazing. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed me taking my clients apart here. Actually, no, they mostly did amazing, didn't they? That was brilliant. If you would like to become a client, you're always welcome to book in with my team and they can introduce you to me. Otherwise, thanks for enjoying the video. Hit the subscribe button with the little bell so you get the next one, and leave a comment below. Maybe you've got a deal breaker. We can see if we can do a couple in the comments, actually. That'd be fun. Leave them in the comments. Hit the like button, and I will see you on the next video very soon.